Hi, all y'all. I wanted to talk about a topic tonight that is near and dear to my heart. It's about relationship styles. Yeah, it's been on my mind lately. I know there are lots of different ways for people to relate, and each way, each type is valid and required for the person or for the couple or for however many want to be relating. And I know that monogamy has fallen into some question over the past several years, perhaps about a decade or so. But I am a consciously monogamous woman. And there's a difference for me between unconscious monogamy and conscious monogamy. And I want to talk a little bit about that so that it's understood. When I was growing up, what was handed to me was unconscious monogamy. It was just assumed that two people met, fell in love, got married, raised a family, stayed together till death do us part, happily ever after, right? I mean, all the movies kind of ended with when they got together. So we didn't get to see what the happily ever after actually turned out to be. It's not a great way of preparing people for actual relationships. Yeah. Disney and the romance novels don't do a great job of helping to prepare us for the reality of what it's like to relate with another person. So I grew up with that model and I entered the equation. And when it came time for me to start exploring my spirituality, on the heels of that was the exploration of my sexuality. I mean, they were kind of neck and neck, hand in hand. They went together. And I didn't want to simply accept what had been handed to me with either spirituality or sexuality and say, okay, there's my marching orders. I wanted to know the truth of who I am, how I operate, how I relate as a spiritual human being, as a sexual human being. And for me, as I've described, they go together. They're the flip sides of the same coin. So monogamy has been called many things lately. It's been called passe, archaic, obsolete, unevolved, controlling, possessive, ownership, all kinds of things that make people go, nope, not for me. I want the freedom. And those things could be applied to the concept of unconscious monogamy. I can see that. I can see how all of that could be experienced that way. It's a throwback to ancient times when women were pretty much property, barely above cattle, underneath men, and not just in that fun way. I had to throw that in. So yes, unconscious monogamy definitely could be part of that. So there was this pendulum swing from control and restriction, and then it swung all the way to the opposite extreme. Is That's what happens when things are repressed. When things are repressed, they will be expressed one way or another, and not always necessarily in a healthy manner. But this was a necessary course correction for people to be able to kick off the restraints of repression under unconscious monogamy, and that swing included polyamory, open relationships, and the multiplicity of ideas that go there. And there are many people for whom that is a valid, authentic way of relating. It's just not for me. I gave it a real fair try. I explored it as a concept. I explored it limitedly experientially because I pretty much quickly realized, no, this is not how I'm wired. And if there's anything that matters to me, it's being authentically real with who I am and how I am, and experiencing that and expressing that and living that. So what I discovered was that there is this entirely different realm of conscious monogamy. And it's when you know all of your options and you've tested out all the theories and you've had your experiences to determine who you are and how you want to relate. So here I am, a consciously monogamous woman. For me, it's not boring. It's not vanilla. It's none of that. It's not archaic. It's not passé. For me, it's the ability to go very deeply one-on-one with a chosen partner with whom I match, to explore the depths, the heights, the passions, the wildness, all of the wildness of what it's like to be intentionally intimate with this other person. So there's an intellectual connection, there's the emotional connection, there's the instinctual, intuitive connection, there's the every chakra being aligned, there's the incredible sexual chemistry, the passion that absolutely needs to be there. And that's the part that's really exciting and thrilling to me, when all of those parts coalesce and work together, and I find someone who matches me on every level. And believe me, that is a very rare experience. I'm inordinately selective. I'm picky, and I don't and won't settle. So it's exceedingly rare for me to find someone with whom I authentically and deeply connect. The person with whom I can experience those depths, those heights. And for me, it's exciting because I get to discover this person inside out, who he is. And by the way, I am heterosexual, so it is a he. Discovering who this person is as he grows, as he discovers himself, as he changes, as he evolves, as he becomes all of who he came here to be. And I'm assuming he did his own fair share of growing and development, because I have, so that would match. But there's also a certain degree of exploration that only happens within the constraint of the intimate relationship. It's the crucible for me and for him, for the deepest kind of exploring that's possible, because you allow that person into you in a way that you don't allow just anybody. And there's a couple of different components for this relationship. So we have the love needs, and we have the erotic needs. And people have tried to tell me that these are poles apart and they don't meet, but that's not my experience. So the love needs would be things like familiarity, companionship, comfort, security, safety, certainty, as far as we can have certainty in this life, in this world. The feeling at home sensations. And then we have the erotic needs. And the erotic needs seem to be very different, because this would be uncertainty, mystery, risk, adventure. So you've got these two different sets of needs, right? So people often go and try to get those needs met in different ways. You have the person with whom you feel comfortable and the person with whom you have adventure. But for me, they come together. I deliver both, and I want both back. That to me is conscious monogamy, not boring, wildly, invigoratingly exciting. That's the adventure of the lifetime that works for me. Because this person who I love, with whom I've fallen in love, with whom I want to share my body, my heart, my soul, my everything, this person is constantly growing and evolving and changing within himself. So he goes to sleep at night and he goes into an entirely different realm to which I have no access. This is his subconscious realm. I can't go there with him, but whoever he is, whatever he's experienced, when he wakes up, I get to fall in love again with this entirely new human being. And that excites me, that thrills me. I want a lifetime of that. I want to grow old with someone, even though I probably will never completely grow old because I haven't grown up yet. So, I reserve the right to stay vibrant and youthful forever. And in fact, what I've discovered and what I want to continue to discover and explore is that when these two people have a vibrant, intellectual, emotional, physical, sexual chemistry and intimacy, that's the adventure of a lifetime. That's when it really gets good. And that permeates everything. So you become this vibrant, supercharged human being. sexual compatibility and sexual exploration, sexual vibrancy is powerful. And for me, it's also sacred. I can share and explore a lot of things with a lot of different people, and I know how to have close friendships, but I also know where those boundaries are. For me, the sexuality is so powerful, so sacred, that I'm only sharing it with that one person. Nobody else gets to have that part of me. It's where I am at my deepest, my most self-revelationary, my most authentic, real part of me. And it takes a very special person to be able to handle that part of me. So for me, conscious monogamy is the most incredibly sacred, powerful, beautiful, transformative modality that I can experience. I don't I don't want that with a lot of different people. I don't want it to be shallow and wide. I want it to be narrow and deep. That's where it's real for me. That's what's exciting to me. So find out what's real for you. How are you wired to be? Where are you on the various spectrums? Whatever that is, it's valid and required. If it fits you, if it's real for you, it may take some exploration so that you can find out for sure who you are, how you want to express, how you want to relate. Don't let anybody else tell you who you are or how you're supposed to relate. Don't let anybody else ever shame you out of what's real for you. I am a conscious monogamous woman. I do not apologize. I will not dull my shine, and I'm not going to compromise that for anything or for anyone. Your mileage may vary. Thanks for listening.